This is the Midrash Rabbah in Parashat Chayei. You, just like the men have a pin-up, somebody. So what's the pin-up? Who's the prototype? Who's the person you like to emulate? So everybody says you want to emulate Sari mainly, right? Because Sari is the picture, and we know that the pasuk says in Yeshayahu Hanavi, famous pasuk, hopeful pasuk, that it's a famous pasuk. Right? You're supposed to emulate and follow. Sorry. So you can't say I don't have a modern role model. Who I'm going to follow? Where's the role model? Who it is? Where is it? I don't see anybody around. There's a pasuk that says that you should follow. Sorry, man. Pasuk in Yeshaya Navi. Yeshaya Nun Aleph. Habitu el Avram avichem el Sarah tucholelchem. So who do you have to look at? I ask you, what's your role model? Sorry. So now you have to see sorry, maybe. Right? If you want to lose weight, you have a picture. You look thin, beautiful. You got to have now a picture. You want to be spiritual, so you got to have a picture of sorry, maybe. Okay. Now the question: what is the picture of sorry, maybe?
That she went out of her way. She makar people. She was like Avram, but like the way Avram used to makar the man, Sarah made looked at the same thing.
So, but it's much, much, much more involved. Okay, you know what I mean? We got to talk more of these. We're going to get more involved. You're right.
She was like the first of the imas. If it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be the other imas.
That's right. That's also true.
It's very special.
But we have to. Those are just words. We want to build up. We're already a little older, and we want to now have a new picture, a new understanding of how we're going to look up the Sari Mein. Look at Sari Mein. What do you think of Sari Mein? It's a pasuk in Yeshaya Nun. Let's see. So now we have Sarah was what? So she died at 127. 127 means that just like at 7.
She was beautiful, and then at 100.
And at 20, she didn't have sin.
So
she was beautiful and without sin at.
And she looked like she was 7 years old.
That's right.
And she was 20.
So we have this woman, this model. Okay, so you'll say when I get to 100, I'll look like sorry, man, I'll be without sin. But in between, we'll see what happens. No, that's not what happens. We have this role model, and we try to emulate. Who's going to talk to her? And who's going to speak to her? So one of the qualities I want to talk about today, and really my son Shlomo also talked about it, but I want to talk about it also. This is a Midrash Rabbah. At the beginning of Chayei Sarah. It says, Vayu Chayei Sarah Meya Shana. And Sarah was 100 years old. This is what Hillel said. So they bring a pasuk into him. Tehillim Lamed Zayin. Yodei Hashem Yemei Temimim. V'nachalasam la'olam tiyeh. Hashem knows the early days when you were talking. Just picture back as you youth, when you were youthful, young, and you were like naive, quote Temimim naive. Shut your eyes a second. Picture yourself young and naive, happy-go-lucky, nothing bothering you. Child, the air, no problem. Don't think of society, boys, marriage, children. Just think of just you were happy those days as a young girl going to school. Picture those days. Shut your eyes also. Shut your eyes. Picture, you don't have those pictures anymore. You have to have something to you too. Shut your eyes. You shut.
I did that.
What?
No,
You did it already. Okay. Yodei Hashem, what? It says Lamed Zayin. I don't have a Tillim. If I had a Tillim, I would check it out. V'nachlasam le'olam. And this inheritance will be forever. Shame. Okay, let's find it. Let's find the pasuk. It says Tehillim Lamed Zayin or Lamed Zayin. Not clear. I would try Lamed Zayin first. V'nachlam loylam tehem. So we make a comparison. Yodeya Hashem Yemei Tamimin. Okay? So I have this picture in my mind of sorry men. But I have to tell you a little secret, girls. It also says that the men have to see sorry men. Learn from, not only the women learn from Sarah, and the men just learn from Abraham. The men learn from Avram and Sarah, and the women can learn from Avram and Sarah. But you definitely have a role model. And there's a pasuk that says you have to see in a picture. It's not just, well, where's my role model? Where is the person today? Everybody's terrible. Very bad. You found the pasuk? I'll find it.
It's on the page.
What?
On the right.
What number? Yodei Hashem Yemei Tamim V'Nachlam Lo'olam Tiyeh. Yud Ches. Kama Shonim Yichyu. He'll know the days of your life. V'Nachlasam Ma'at Me'Hatova Shehincha Lehem HaMokom Yehei Shomer Etzlam Lo'olam Kol Yemei Chayei. The little bit he gave you will continue. Let's see. Makir Es Maaseh Yemeihem V'Nachlam Kavua Scharam L'olam tiyeh. According to Rashi, it's very good that he recognizes your deeds. That's simple. And he's going to inherit that further. That continues further. According to the Metzudas David, it's a little different. You know how many years you live. And a little bit of the good days he'll give them. Okay. It says, Kach Shnoisam Temimim. These are the Bas Chav Kebas Zayin Lenoi, Ubas Kuf Kebas Hashem Leched, Shon Leched. Dover Acher, another explanation, Yodei Hashem Meitim Zeh Sora Shoya Temimo B'Maseh. She was Tomim in her deeds. Omar Yochanan, Kahador Iglator Tamimo, like there's the calf of a parah. A calf is tomim, like a calf. So we start off with the concept of that Sorry Meinu had the special quality called Tamimus. 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 The question is, how are you talking to our speaker? How do we translate the word Tamimus? How would you translate Tamimus? This is the question. How would we translate Tamimus? We were talking about that everybody has a role model. So today's world you may not find a role model, but the Torah tells us in Yeshaya Novi Nun that you have to look up to Abraham as a role model and Sarah. So we said also it's not only for the women to see Sarah and the men to see Avram. Men have to see Avram and Sarah. We'll explain right away. And women should see Avram and Sarah both. But definitely you have a role model, which is Sarah, which we'll explain later. Now, one of the qualities that Sarah had was tamimus. Tamimus. The question is, what does that concept package mean? What is tamimus?
Guileless.
My father liked to translate. He translated in French, sans tache, which means without blemish. That's one of the meanings. Without blemish. Without blemish. That's my father used to translate. I don't know if his French is right. You only hear English now. Sans tache. Well, how do you say it in French? Without blemish. I don't know. How do you say it in French? Sans défaut. How to get tache? How do you get tache? I don't know. Anyway. My father used to say all the time, without blemish. In other words, a yeshiva bacha, or a yeshiva girl, or a Jewish person has to be above reproach, beyond reproach. Santash means beyond reproach, in one way. Beyond reproach, how would you say beyond reproach in French? Santash. Okay. Beyond reproach. Beyond reproach. You have to be, in other words, in a way that there is no complaints. Okay, that's how my father. Well, those are translations we have. I would have had this printed for you, but I didn't have the time. Anyway, I will read part of it. In the Hasidic books, they like to say that Abraham is the seichel and Sarah is the heart. Again, Abraham is the intellect and Sarah is the heart. That's how they like to translate it. B is that the acts of Abraham is not only for himself, but it's for all generations. And the acts of Sarah is not only for herself, for all generations. And this pasuk that we brought down, the Nachlasol, the Olam, as if that Sarah, where is Tamim, that since you have certain qualities, so those qualities are transmitted to your children. Usually, you're picking up the qualities of your parents. So if you continue the qualities of the parents, if they're good, wonderful. But if they're the non-good qualities of your parents, your mother and father, and you rehash them and live with and continue that script, so then you get extra punished. Why? First of all, you're continuing a bad script. Second of all, you're obligated to change. When you change, three things happen. One is you change. B is the next generation change. And third is that the sin or the bad qualities of your parents stop, and therefore if they're dead, or whatever it may be, if they're still alive, they become elevated. Okay? Now, just want to bring a Gemara, he brings down. The Mar Kedushin Daf Chav Beis. A big animal, a behema gasa, is a big animal, like a cow, heavy. So how are you kona? How do you acquire possession of a big animal? So one of the rules is meshicha. You pull it. One of the ways of moving it is by calling it. So it comes. But let's say you have a slave, so you cannot kona it by calling it. Why not? Again, and big animal, like a cow, is heavy. You can be kona, you can acquire it by an act of possession. One of the acts of possession is that it moves towards you. You make it move. So it changes position.
That's why when you do a cameo with a handkerchief, you don't have to move it.
No, you have to somehow possess it. How do you have to do something with it? Either you pick it up, you move it, you got to do something with it to show possession. In order to show possession, you're the owner. You have to do something with it. It shows that owners do. So for a big animal, so then meshicha, you put it. For a big eved, big slave, you can't be kona by making a move. Why? So the Chazal say the Adam adaite the nafshe ka'avet, because the slave, he does things since he has a brain, and a brain has the ability for discernment of deciding right and wrong. So when you call it, why does it move? Because the slave decides, I want to move. If he doesn't want to move, he won't move. So now it pays for him to move for whatever reason is. Why? Because you make a cheshbon, you make a value judgment. Why should I do it? Should I do it because I get something from it? It's good for me to move. I'm a slave, I have to move. So in other words, reason why you do it is because you decide to do it. Adaita the nafshe. You decide yourself. Okay? So you say that's wonderful. That's a quality of a human being. So whatever you do, you're the one that makes the decision what you do. That's beautiful. Excellent. Looking better than that. Using your mental faculties that makes you different than an animal. Different than an animal. By you making a decision. They sell a joke that a girl, when they want to get married, so they say, do you have meshicha? Do you have any emotional pull? So the brisk would say, that language is only for a behema gasa, for a woman that is gas, like that has the word meshicha, is called to be meshicha, by a pull, by love, and all that. Yeah, that's one of the jokes they have, but it's not. But that's a brisk joke. But anyway, a human being, it does things according to adaita the nafshi, according to how you feel, according to your intellect. You have to make a decision. So that sounds very good. So the Gemara in Chulin tells us, because there's a pasuk in Tehillim, Adam ubehema toshia Hashem. So Almighty helps a human being and an animal. So Chazal learns out, the Midrash said, even though we are a human being, we go after God like an animal. And that's the case we mentioned here of Sari Menu. She was like a calf, a little calf, going after her mother. Now I want to explain this a little bit. The Gemara in Chulin says, there are certain people who are very clever, arum in bedas, and they make themselves as if they're followers or do things. But a person does the will of his friend, but really he does because he decides it's for his benefit or it's important to do. Because of love, because he gets something, whatever it may be. Or because the mind dictates. So really what is he doing? He's doing his own free will. What I want and how I want. So what's wrong with that? There's one thing. You have free choice, you decide what you want. But we have another Chazal that tells us that David HaMelech, you see, his body was so trained that by itself the body wanted to worship God. By itself it wanted to walk to the base Midrash. Without thought. In other words, if you wouldn't have your faculties of thinking, of deciding what you like or don't, or your belief system, what you want, where would your body go? Well, let's take diets, for example. There are certain people who have to eat candies, chocolates, ice cream. So, if they didn't have on their mind to have to be thin or beautiful or healthy, so where would the body go? The body would go to dreamland with big ice creams and this and that. And if you ever saw Disneyland, Disney pictures of eating the big ice creams and all these things and all these, or whatever you're eating, the chocolates. So that's where the body would want to go. But since your mind says no way, you get fat, I want to look nice. I got to be pretty. It's like, sorry, man. This. So therefore, you would control yourself. But the body wants to go places. Now, the question, where does your body pull you? What does the body want? Yeah. Where does the body pull you? Now, so the question is, your body pull you to God? Is it a natural instinct that you want to get close to God, want to get close to holy things? Is that, where does your body pull you and push you to do? So Sarah Imenu, she was totally heart, which is feelings, which is body, in that sense. But where was her body pulling her to? What did she get happiness from? When you have a free moment, where do you get happiness from? What makes you happy? Music, fun, food, to read Tehillim, to be with God, pray, do good deeds, learning Torah. What does your body want? There are a lot of rabbis that died, and they put them into the graves, and 100 years later, 300 years later, they open up the graves and the body is intact. Because the body that was eaten up by worms. Why? Because the body was so pure that it had no desire for physical and worldly things. The body was interested in spirituality. So the body, in that sense, was spiritual. Now, the question is, where does your body go? What does your body do? That's called body language in spiritual terms. The physical term tells you what your emotions and feelings are. The question is, what does your body like to do? Relax, work, because some people can't stay still, they have to work. Some people would love to stay still and relax. You know what I mean? What does your body really want to do? Some bodies, women want to have children, some bodies don't want nothing. Depends, what is your body crying out to do? Now the body of Sarah Imenu was totally one thing, only to serve and worship Hashem, nothing more. That was her greatest joy, happiness, and her just body naturally. Now there's a thing called default. Default means that you have nothing else to do. A lot of people are religious because what else they're going to be? Parents are religious, society religious. So they're religious because that's why they're religious. What else can they do? I tell the joke. It's not my joke. Everyone knows about it. Children go to school all year long. Comes the summertime. They throw their hats up, would be no more school, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks. And then they go home, and then they leave the house, and the mother says to them, "And where are you going?" So I'm going to the schoolyard, of course. Where else? Which means is that the natural place of default, what else is there? But it's not that, in other words, the body goes there because that's where it goes. But it's not that. Because the mind says no school, and he goes to school. The mind says, don't eat the chocolate, eat the chocolate. The mind says, don't smoke cancer, and you smoke. So what happened here? So the question is, where does the body go? So the body of Sarah Imenu again was what? Totally heart and spiritual. Nothing else. So there's a lot of people in their religious worship that have a conflict, internal conflict. They may be controlled by their minds, and the body pushes here and there, or even the body doesn't push. But that's what they do because that's what they do. Get up in the morning, what do you do? Well, you brush your teeth, take a wash yourself. You do it because what else do you do? That's natural. Tie your shoes, whatever you do. And you go naturally. Those that are trained to make the beds, they make the beds. Whatever they do naturally, it's just normal. You don't think about what you're doing, you just do it. That's you're doing because you're doing it. Not that the body wants it and desires it. You do it because you want to do it. So we have a stage where your body doesn't want. There's a stage is that what else is there to do? This is what you normally do. So it seems that the body desires, the heart desires, the soul creeps out of you. And therefore, when we talk about tamimus, we talk about that. I want to read you the text a little bit. That The body itself, in terms of sorry name, her tamimus was that there was nothing stopping her. It was totally only interested in worshiping Hashem, helping her husband, doing good deeds. That was her. She was pure in that way. Tamim in the sense pure. She was purely, she didn't do it for any interest she's going to gain. Most women, when they do things, they say, what do I get out of it? Look around, what do my friends think of me? Who's going to see me? What's going to be? They have all these external games and trips and history in their head. But to just do it because that's what you want to do, and mitzvahs is what you love to do, and not because you should do it only, and you have to do it, and then what else is there to do? But the body wants to be good. There are a lot of children, a lot of good people. This is where we're different from this guy Anthony. He holds that the strongest force is pain and the pleasure. We claim, this is the claim is, that the body, the person who's straight wants to do good. Naturally, this is one of the Jewish concepts, that naturally a person, a child wants to do good and be good. If the child doesn't want to do good and be good, there's something wrong. You say, what is it? Oh, that's normal, because he has to be aggressive, and he needs things, and he wants, and that's all true. But that's all games of the head that tell you that you got from your friends, society, or you develop your personality, or whatever it may be, or what you want to desire. But naturally, Hashem created man straight and good. Now, in every human being, there's goodness in him. Goodness in him. Now, maybe the brain has to tell the body, that good. And then the body does it and it feels good. But that the body should cry out, that the heart should say, I want to do good and only good things, and feel good about it, that's really sorry name. That's a pure woman. That's the tamimus of sorry name. It's a little more than this one thing. So when she wants to, when it comes to do the will of God, her whole being, her whole body's there. It's totally engrossed. There's no kind of games or stories or history or I want to get this or want to get that. It's purely, or my mind dictates for me. It's purely the desire that you were created to serve. A woman is created to serve God, to do mitzvahs, to serve her husband, to serve her children, to serve society, to give of herself. It's a natural thing. It's not, I'll give if I get back. Why did I do this? I should have that. There's not a good person, and all these thoughts and ideas. It's a basic thing of being good and want to serve and do good. This is the body, and this is what takes place. Now, when they did their acts, Avram and Sarah, they did it not only for themselves, but for future generations. What does that mean? They had a goal in mind? No. They knew that when they do something, it has to be total with all their being, with all their fibers, all the inner being of who they are and what they are when they're going to do an act, to make it as pure as possible. So they got involved. They did it with all their heart and all their being. Now, let's talk about reaction. Let's talk about a reaction. The Almighty wanted to create man. So what did he say? What did he say? Listen. He said, Na'aseh Adam, let us make, in plural. And let us make. Let us make man. So the question, what do you mean let us make? I thought God made man. There's nobody else. Who created the world? God. What do you mean let us make? Why, there's two people that make? There are other forces that make man? So Rashi says, those are my Rashi. He asked Malachim to do it. Why? Derech Eretz. Because the big man asked the young person to. Right? That's to teach the people Derech Eretz. Manners, understanding, to be humble. Now, people read this text who aren't religious, and what happens?
start thinking of something.
They think maybe there's two forces, because the text says Nasa, let us make. If you don't understand, you have a problem. You'll ask me. Let us make man. So now we have a problem. What's your reaction to this statement, let us make man? You can have a question, what do you mean let us make man? Why there's two assurance? That's one way. And then you can go a little further and say, there's something hidden over here, I don't know, I better start searching. Or you'll say, something's hidden here. But since I'm religious, I can't ask questions. Okay, I won't ask. But down in your head, it's snoring and bothering you. Why does it say here? What do you mean derech eretz? Why does God need to teach us derech eretz for? And that's such an important thing when people make a mistake. Okay, you accept it, but go on. But let's say the person has tamimus, quote, tamimus, what we're talking about. Tamimus being onav and savlanis. Onav is humble, and savlanis, patience. You have those two qualities, humble and patient. So now you read this text, what do you say? So listen, I don't understand it. God is bigger than me. I don't understand it. There must be a good reason here. And I go back and I now use that statement in a positive way. So my natural bodily reaction, there's a thing called reflexes. Reflexes, they go to the doctor, he wants to see how your reflexes are. So he takes a little, he has a little hammer that's made out of rubber, hard rubber, and he hits your knee somewhere, right? And he sees if it goes up or not, right? Let's see reflexes. So the question, how do you have reflex action when it comes to a situation? Which would mean is, how does your body react? Not only your neural association in the brain react, what's your emotional feelings in the deep gut reaction? How do you feel? And at that point, those Freudian slips or those interesting observations, you find out where you're at and what you're doing. And are you really a God-fearing person? Do you really have belief in God? How do you feel internally when somebody irritates you? Somebody hollers at you and you didn't deserve to be hollered at. Or somebody talks bad about you when you shouldn't be talking bad about you. And you didn't deserve it. Well, how do you react? Do you accept God's ways and say, must be that God's telling me a message here, I better change my ways, or better be better? Or your action is, I better do something about it, or I don't deserve it, why did God do it to me? What is your reaction to what's happening? So that will depend, again, where is your body? Is your soul and heart with God? How much bitachon you have, how much emunah you have, how much belief you have in God? Where is your heart? Where is your being? Where are you? So Rav Chaim Halevi adds another dimension and says, "To me, Ashrei to me Medera." We have a text that says, "Happy are the people that are tomim in the way." You accept upon yourself things that you don't understand, and you'll have. That only comes if you're honored, if you're humble, and you have sablons, and your heart is in the right place. We can test a person out where they're holding and what they do. Let's take the Jews in Egypt. The Jews in Egypt knew that they're going to be in Egypt for a long time. And because of Avram asked Ba'me'eda, how do I know? Then we know they're going to be punished for 400 years in exile. I don't know when the 400 years start, but they said 210 years they're in Egypt. Now they know the Egyptians. If we're going to be in exile, what's going to happen? So if we're going to be like the Egyptians, so they hate us less. If we're going to be different than the Egyptians, and we're going to stand out like a sore thumb, so they're going to hate us. We have money, beauty, they're going to hate us, anti-Semitism. So now they had a problem. What should they do? Should they be like, as much as they can, like the Egyptians? There be less hatred? Or no? Should we be different and follow the ways of Hashem? So they made a compromise. When it came to the Maisa Milat circumcision, there are two parts to serve. One is to take off the foreskin, and the other one is to take away the membrane. So since Avraham Avinu was only told to take off the foreskin, and didn't have to take off the membrane, so they said, listen, since we're not obligated now, and the only time you have to take off the membrane is at the time of the Har Sinai, when we're going to get the mitzvahs in Har Sinai. So right now, we'll be a compromise. We'll do a little bit like ourselves, a little Jewish. We'll have it's called balanced Judaism. Today in the world it's called balanced Judaism. That's the new buzzword. Balanced Judaism. A little bit of Judaism to pass, to get around, to fit in society, to feel good. That's called balance. A little bit of myself, balanced, to enjoy the world, to be part of the world. What is that called? Balanced Judaism. That's the latest Judaism downtown downtown Judaism called balance. A little Judaism. They wear a black yarmulke, a green yarmulke, a white yarmulke. They wear a yotze yarmulke. Little tzitzis hanging outside, and they'll go to the bars. They have this balanced Judaism in order that they know where they're holding. Enough, a little here, they talk of this, they don't do that, they have other things called balanced Judaism. So the Jews in Egypt wanted this balanced Judaism. Even though they're within the law. They're within the law. In other words, they found loopholes in the law. This much here, that much not. But the question, where was their heart? Was their heart to say, here I am, God, totally, I'm all yours, God. I love you, God, I'm all yours. Even though I'm not required. Notice the word, I'm not required, I'm all yours, God, here I am. Or do you hold back and say, well, I'll go step by step, I'll go slowly. I can't take it too fast. Meaning I'm afraid to get close. So came along Hashem and understood this. And he said to them, good. And Hashem felt there's a very strong pasuk. Hashem says that if you'll follow me, I will be your patron. So they use a Greek word there. I will be like your patron. I'll take care of you, don't worry. So those that use their seichel in their mind, hey, listen, I got a head on my shoulder, come on. I know about life. God can only ask me what to do. What I can do, and my mind tells me I can only go so far. Therefore, since I have a head on my shoulder, I'll go so much, and I won't go all the way. You know what I mean? But if somebody is tamim, and his body and his emotions desire to have total faith, rely totally on Hashem, and their body desires, the real feeling is desire totally to be like that little calf following, if you don't understand, totally and go in. So God says, I will take care of you, don't worry. And Hashem says, Ashrei Tamim, happy are those, and I'll take care of those that are tamim, and I will be your patron. I'll take care of you. So what happened? Was, when we got to Har Sinai, and in Har Sinai, we accepted the Torah. So God said, listen, I'm going to give you Jewish people, since your heart is with me, and said Nasa v'nishma, and you're tamim, and you rely upon me, and I'm your patron, I'm going to give you the power of attorney. I'm going to give you kedusha. I'm going to give you special powers, like my attorney. What is the power attorney gave us? So just like in Har Sinai, the Jewish people changed and became holy, kadosh, and pure. And he changed their whole being. So he gave us the power to turn it around. That we're able to make other people Jewish. That's Geirus. We're able to make non-Jews Jews. Because since we rely upon Hashem, so immediately he relies upon us, that we will let into the faith those people who will follow the faith and keep it well. So he gave us that power of Kedusha, that we're able to do that, which is really the bris, which is our covenant, which is the essence of the Jewish people, which is the holiness and purity. What's special about Jews? Holiness and purity.
That we are able to keep all of that. We have so many commandments and mitzvahs that makes us different from the other nations.
No, not the mitzvahs, the other way around. Since we're holy and pure and we want to get close to God, God blessed us and gave us the ability and the gift and the merit to be able to do mitzvahs. Let's say a non-Jew would do a mitzvah. What really? There's no meaning. He's not commanded, has no value. But when we are blessed, we got the gift, because we're holy, and we rely upon God, so then He helps us. Take the example of a mother and a child, or you have a little baby that needs you. How do you feel when you're needed?
Good.
Good. Tremendous. And do you do a lot of things when you're needed, boy? When you're needed, you change the world. If you're needed, you'll run and do and help. When you're not needed, you'll drop like out today. You're tired, you're sick, doesn't work, you don't want. You know what I mean? Needed is a very important word. So the same thing is, when God feels that you rely and you need Him, which is the essence, need God, to every step, you come on to God, so God helps you. When He feels you rely upon Him, you tell Him, so God will open the door for you. But if you feel that I'll do it in my head and my brain and my, sure you have to use your brain. But there's another quality called tamimas, reliance upon God, reliance upon Hashem, that runs the world. When you rely upon Hashem, He then opens the door. So one of the great qualities of Sari Mena was what? Tamimas. Her whole being, and Sari Mena was what? Heart. Her whole heart, her whole physical being was reliance upon Hashem totally. And I want to explain that how was it able, Sari Mena was able to take her student, Hagar, and give her over to her husband to be a mistress and have a child, and she'll be second fiddle. What woman will give up the right to be first fiddle, second fiddle, in order, and she'll know the result at the end that this first fiddle will be nasty to her and hurt her, and she'll have to go out of her way to be nice to her, and she won't be nice to her. Right? It won't be reciprocal. That will happen. Who can do that? Only if you really have faith, your body wants to do good, and totally serve, your whole being is to serve God, serve your husband, and serve the purposes of God. And since she did that with all her being, which is, we said, it's like 1,000 deaths she had, because she changed her whole being, or she moved herself, her being, to be totally subjugated, to do the right thing, even though it's against her das, against her brain. How can you bring into your house another woman who's going to have a child, and you'll be second fiddle, and you'll be a piece of dirt, a shmata, and you won't get the same love and care from your husband? How can you do that? It's against the seichel. It's against the brains. How can you do it? The answer is that since she accepted God's ways and knew this is the way which is beyond her, she moved her whole being and her whole body with her emotions and love and her being to do something that an average person can't do against their will. Did the will of God, even though the seichel said no. But the woman's part is the emotional aspect. That emotion has to be pure, tamim, without blemish, without beyond reproach, that it was 100%. Was she able to give her whole body and being to this, that she pure? The second she did that, wingo whiff, what happened? Her whole body changed, and her insides, that she couldn't have children, already turned into have a child. Her whole being changed.
It seems to me like that's not a logical conclusion that she came to. It's like more than that, because she could have thought to herself, it's Hashem's will there's no children, and why should she think that she's supposed to do that? That's Hashem's will to give her student. It seems like it's more than just a logical conclusion.
I agree. It's much more. You have to get involved with Avraham Avinu. But my point is that even though it's against the seichel, her body. My answer is that her body knew it's right. She totally faith in God, and total being, she was able to do it. Otherwise, without that, she couldn't have done it. Because she did that, the Almighty changed the whole being, the DNA system. That she couldn't have children, she was able to have a child.
She understood that that was God's will. It's not necessarily understood.
Okay, but it again gets to the point of how do you know what's God wants. So therefore, that's why I said, how do you react? So if you have good training, so you'll see the good things. If you don't have good training, like I said, if there's a text that says, let us make man, so if you have a scientific approach, and this logical approach, you have a problem. But if you accept God's way and understand it, so then automatically what will happen? You'll see it in a different light. When two people see things with one green glasses and one with red glasses. Let me hear you look a little disturbed. What's on your
Can I
mind?
just say something?
No,
The thing is, she didn't know that like Hagar was going to be bad. She didn't know that like Hagar was going to turn. So when she was thinking